As part of our Young People Farming the Future initiative, the Murray Mallee LLEN team created an Ag Champions podcast, which consists of brief interviews with local ag champions within our region. We embark on a journey of discovery with industry professionals exploring their unique experiences, challenges, and triumphs in navigating the agriculture landscape. Tune in as we cultivate conversations that illuminate the diverse pathways that lead to success in the field of agriculture and uncover stories behind the individuals shaping the future of agriculture, horticulture, and agribusiness. I'd like to welcome Matt Rowlands to our Young People Farming the Future Ag Champion podcast. Thank you for joining us, Matt, to chat about your pathway in the agriculture industry. Please introduce yourself, tell us about what industry you work in, and a little bit about the organisation you work for.
Thanks, Mikayla. I'm Matt Rowlands. I'm 28, involved in the agricultural industry, of course, in specifics, the livestock sector, both sheep and cattle, small part in the real estate area as well. Yeah, I've grown up around Swan Hill, local, grew up in town, and I suppose my interest in agriculture began with family and friends and living in Swan Hill.
And who do you work for?
Currently employed by Elders. There is a Livestock Agent and auctioneer. It's a fantastic company that's right across Australia to work for, so yeah.
Nice. And what's involved in your workday?
Yeah, there's no 2 days the same being a stock agent. Yeah, it can range from attending sales at the sale yards, preparing stock for auction or private sale off farm. It's always interesting. Our market's constantly changing and you're always communicating with both your sellers being your producers of the livestock and also the buyers being the processors or people wanting to purchase stock in. So
you work pretty closely with people then in the farming community?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Right beside people's business as it operates in the livestock area.
Yeah, cool.
Business,
so what inspired you to pursue a career in agriculture?
I suppose I was inspired a little bit by family. I grew up in town. We've never lived on a farm or anything previously. I've had family as well as friends' families on farms, so I suppose I was exposed to it as a young age. It wasn't something that I always thought that I would drift towards, I suppose. I always enjoyed time out the farm or anything that we'd done in that sort of sense, but when I was at school in my later years, right up sort of year 10 and 11, I still didn't think that was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't until sort of finishing school and having a few months off that I went and worked for some family members doing a harvest, driving chaser bin and a header over at Manangatang. So that sort of sparked my interest for a bit more and thought this is something that I'd like to do. And I attended Longanong Ag College for 12 months. And by the time I'd done 12 months there, I was a little bit sick of school and sort of tired of the bookwork and everything that came with it, and I wanted to get my hands into something.
Yeah, more hands-on.
Yeah, more hands-on and just start learning and just adapting myself to something that I could. During the last sort of 3 or 4 years of school, I'd done a lot of different work placements and come back to Swan Hill and picked up a traineeship with a company in town in the livestock sector.
Right, that's awesome. I feel like that covered a little bit of my next question because I'm interested to hear the fact that you didn't grow up on a farm but still sort of came into that agriculture industry is so interesting. We were just talking before about how it's such a huge farming community in our region.
Yeah, it's something that I suppose, makes you think like how I did end up in it and also the opportunity that's there for other people in our local area or anyone that wants to get into ag is you don't need to be that son or that daughter of a farmer.
Growing up on a farm, you expect people to sort of continue on the farm or if someone's grown up in town, you don't really think that they would go down into that industry. So I think it's interesting to hear that that's what the pathway you followed. And then you also touched a little bit on your schooling. So I did have here just wanting to find out a little bit about what subjects you did study at school because I wasn't sure if you went down that agriculture side of things at school, but it sounds like you were sort of trying a lot of things out. You mentioned work experience. So what type of work experience were you doing? Was it in the agriculture industry or was it just trying anything?
Yeah, so I did, I suppose, more lean to the ag side of things in the work experience, but I did my schooling at the Swan Hill Secondary College, completed that right through to year 12. Subject-wise, I was probably pretty broad. You did your standard math, your English and everything, which you definitely need in this job. Also, your vet engineering, there was vet ag offered to us through the TAFE in Swan Hill at that stage, and just your business management, those sort of subjects that's sort of all going to compile into probably anything that you're going to look to take on, as a job or as a career. So
yeah. And what did you study at Longanong?
That was an advanced diploma of agriculture. Yeah. Yep.
Very
so studied that. Yeah.
Advanced diploma would have been a lot of bookwork too. So
yeah, it was. I mean, it
excited.
covered a great range of topics as well. Through business management and finance and the whole work. So it was a great broad subject to cover.
Have you done any more studying since then, or has it been more learning within your job?
Yeah, so a little bit of a mix, I suppose. A lot of on the ground, on farm, on the job type learning as you go to work out how the industry works. My job's very much relationship based with clients, been very involved in their business, but also on having to negotiate pricing with buyers and working with them as well as transporters. There's a whole inner workings of it, I suppose. Done a little bit of further study to obtain my Livestock Agent's licence in New South Wales, as well as both my real estate licence in New South Wales and Victoria as well. So
were there challenges in starting out in this particular industry?
Probably the biggest challenge, I suppose, was working out where you want to go or what sort of part of the industry you want to be involved in. Like agriculture, it keeps growing and there's new technology, and so there's not just the be a farmer or just be an agronomist or anything like that. It's so broad, and I think that's where there's so much opportunity for young people to get into the industry. It can be a part of anything. It all becomes very relative to agriculture. I suppose the challenging part of getting in the industry was finding that spot, and like anyone that starts a job, you're pretty nervous about how it's going to go and whether you're doing the right thing and everything. But I think just getting into something and having a go is the first massive part. And there's always challenges after that'll come. You got workplace structures. Challenging part of my job when I started probably was there's an older generation in farming typically, and for them people to give a young bloke or young girl a go at handling a part of their business. And obviously some of the businesses that we deal with are quite large, so understandably, but it's just breaking through that barrier that keep trying and you'll get there.
Yeah, keep showing them that if you're willing to work hard, they'll sort of...
and be curious, be interested in what people are doing, and you'll be amazed at the people that you meet and what you learn by just showing a bit of interest and asking questions and just being involved in it.
Yeah, so as a young person entering the industry, would you say that you had some really strong mentors within the agriculture industry? I know you mentioned it's a little bit of a challenge coming in as a young person.
Yeah.
So are there people who were very open to giving you a go?
Yeah, definitely. Joe O'Reilly is a local stock agent, real estate agent, really gave me a massive opportunity when I started and everything to learn, and really took me under his wing. And I class him as a great mentor, but he's probably like a lifelong friend now. And it's really good. There's so many people like that in the industry, and it's finding those people. And you will, and they'll come along, and your relationships would build with people as you go, but they can show you everything. And if you can find someone like that you like the way they work and how they present themselves and the type of business that they're doing and everything, and that's an interest for you, well, just stick with them and get beside them and learn as much as you can, because just be a sponge, I suppose. There's that much to learn off people in our industry that have a lot of experience and can give you a lot of opportunity as well.
Yeah, that's great. So what is your most significant career highlight so far?
I don't think I can put a finger on a single event that's happened. I get a lot of joy and excitement about working really hard with my clients to expose them to new opportunities in our livestock industry that can sort of excel their business beyond just the norm. So I suppose one really good thing is a couple of clients have been partnered with a processor, and I talk about like an abattoirs in that sense for people that don't have any experience in it, but it's able to provide a market for their product that's matched at a premium price above other markets, and we've sort of tailored their sheep and the part of that business to roll into providing premium markets. So just for instance, some of the clients' lambs are now in the top 5 restaurants in Sydney and being exported overseas and having really good results, and that's just gave them momentum to grow their livestock business and do more. And that's probably the most exciting part, is just seeing people's business thrive and how you've helped them come to that.
Yeah, that's really cool that you hear where that livestock actually end up. Like the
Yeah.
fact that it ends up in one of the top 5 restaurants, and to know that that's where it went, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, no, it's great, yeah.
Would you say the technology has changed a little bit over the years?
Yep, definitely, yeah. It's massive. And I suppose that's always going to keep changing everything, but just the way we operate our business and people selling their livestock, where it ends up and how it gets there. And yeah, it's definitely grown. You know, we're having online sales now, and things are interconnected with the internet. From processing side, all the technology that's in the abattoirs and everything now is giving us extra feedback on our livestock to make better decisions when we buy livestock to breed with. And yeah, it's just helping everyone's business grow a lot.
You're involved in the Swan Hill Rural City Council Agri-business Advisory Committee along with some other local ag champions. Can you tell me how you became involved in this and what benefits it has for you?
Yeah, I was asked to come along and attend one of the advisory meetings by one of our local councillors, Bill Moore. So I took that opportunity to come in and sit on a meeting one night and really enjoyed it. It's just a great space for everyone in our local area, or selected people in our local area that are from all ranges of industry. Like there's nearly one person from every type of industry that you can nearly think of there. And it's just great to sit in on those meetings and everyone discusses what's going on in their little patch or what they're involved in, and then all of a sudden everyone gets discussing about the ways that we can benefit our area and what maybe might need to be done, or things coming up that we can get benefits from. And it's great to have that sort of brainstorming session.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be really cool to have a local network that you could sort of turn to if you had any questions, or if you wanted to expand on some knowledge in some other areas.
Yeah, yep. And big ideas that people can see for improvements, and just to pose that question, why can't we improve something that people might not have thought of, or something, we can try and get some funding for, and just keep our area growing.
So what is your long-term career goal for agriculture?
A long-term personal goal, I suppose, would be to continue to service my clients to the best that I can, and expose their businesses to all things new and up and coming in the livestock industry. That's going to benefit their business, of course, and ultimately help them grow. I just hope to continue that through both the livestock and real estate as we go forward. And at the moment, all things going well. There's obviously seasonal challenges with it being a little bit drier this year, but there's different things that we can apply and adapt to that. So,
would you consider yourself as a mentor to young people coming through the industry? I'm not sure how many young people you see coming into your space. But yeah, would you consider yourself as more of a mentor now?
I think so. I mean, I'm still pretty young, but for younger people as well, I think I'm a pretty approachable sort of person that if anyone wanted to, find out some information or just have a chat and work out, a direction that they think they might want to go and what opportunities are there, well, yeah, always open to that. We've got young people, as young as 17 and 18 involved in our local business at Elders Swan Hill, and that's great. They show plenty of enthusiasm and plenty of get up and go. Well, they've got huge opportunities in front of them. So, and that's a great thing probably that's about the agriculture sector, is it's not hard to find that, in a sense. I don't think, like there's passionate people out there that want to get others involved and want to show them what's capable and what opportunities out there, and there is a lot. So yeah, no, it's a really good industry to be involved in.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's so friendly, and yeah, like you said, if you're willing to ask questions and work hard, like they'll be willing to help you out. And
yep, no, I don't think you'd have any trouble sort of finding that if you can show a bit of interest and a bit of good attitude and work ethic. It's it can get you a long way.
So what advice would you give someone else wanting to maybe pursue a career in the agriculture or horticulture industry?
I'd say have a good think about what areas of the industry interest you, and when you're young and starting out, just have a go. If you're not sure, don't sweat on it for 6 or 12 months and think, oh, should I or shouldn't I? Just jump in. Like when you're young and starting, you can try anything for 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 months. And if you liked it but you're not sure, go and try something else. It's just that exposure to where you go and travel to work, or who you meet, and some of the networks and connections that you have along the way. You'd be surprised how often they'll pop up or how often you'll come back to those connections and networks like in later years. So yeah, just get in, have a go, be prepared, for hard work and showing a really good work ethic and a good attitude, and yeah, it's a great industry to be involved in. So that'd be my best advice.
Awesome. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us for our Young People Farming the Future podcast and chatting to us a little bit about your pathway. I feel like you've given some great advice for any young people who would be considering going into the industry. So thank you.
Thank you, Nat. Awesome, and great to be involved. It's an awesome industry to be involved in, and can highly recommend it to any young people that have even just had a thought or just learning about agriculture as we go along as well. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt. This Ag Champions podcast was supported by the Secondary Schools Agriculture Fund, which is funded by Agriculture Victoria as part of the Victorian Government's 4-year $50 million Agriculture College Modernisation Program. Thank you for listening.